Mr. Buzz Osborne, he of Melvins, and for the past 30 years, Buzz has been fronting the Melvins, and the Melvins, of course, were a huge influence on Kurt Cobain. Buzz and Kurt were friends, and for the first time ever, he's just put out an acoustic guitar album. Yeah, it's his first acoustic album, and the question is why, and why now?
Well, I mean, I always had it in the back of my mind that I would do something like that. I just didn't know when. I'm really busy with lots of stuff. I'm definitely a workaholic, but there are worse things to be addicted to than work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was a couple reasons that had nothing to do with music, and that were like personal issues. It's just, I've done a wide variety of things. The Melvins have done a ton of different kinds of music. There's not one thing we do. I always say we're, loud, quiet, noisy, calm.
Right.
It's just everything is jammed in there. Especially if you listen through all of our records, there's just no end. So it's just another thing.
Another aspect.
Another thing to do, yeah.
Do you usually write your songs on acoustic, even Melvin stuff?
Oh yeah. I've always played acoustic,
right.
But I've never played acoustic like in a traditional way, as you could see.
Right.
I have a really ham-fisted technique. I play like a bulldozer.
There's a magic drunken lord filled with paper dolly women. Watch 'em burn down. The wine will help them drink their blood, and they'll tell you why you're wrong, and hide it when it's gone. They're getting what they're giving, then there won't be drunken lady. Watch 'em fall down. The wine will help them speak their tongue, and they'll tell you why you're wrong, and hide it when it's gone.
This guy that's been playing with me on this tour, opening, this guy named Field, he goes, "You're very precise in your picking," which is harder than a lot harder than people think.
Right.
I never really thought about it that way, And when I realized I wanted to do an acoustic album, and then I wanted to take it out and tour it. I had to figure out a way to make it work, and so I wanted to do something that was a little different than that, and still a music that, if you like our band, you should be able to like this.
Right. Yeah, as I listened through the album, to me it sounds as dark and heavy and psychedelic as anything the Melvins would do. It's not that it doesn't sound. It's not that it sounds exactly like the Melvins, but it doesn't sound so radically different than that you'd go, wow, this is a weird departure.
Yeah.
It sounds very much like your songs.
It's very organic for me. It's the right decision.
It's the right decision.
Yeah, trying to do something outside of my realm is wrong. It's the wrong thing to do.
Like if you, and I think I read that you said this, if you tried to do a Woody Guthrie album or a Bob Dylan album or tried to do traditional folk music, it wouldn't have been.
I could do authentic. It, but it's not going to be. No one will care.
Right.
It's just not. I mean, it's been done to death.
Right.
I mean, like Bob Dylan is obviously one of my favorites, but he liked Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger, but he didn't do that exactly. Mm-hmm. He bettered it.
Right.
He did
right.
something that was a lot more finger pointing and mean spirited. But his stuff always sounds like him, whether it's a full band or not.
Right.
Or Neil Young. I mean, nobody questions if Neil Young plays an acoustic guitar. He can play any song he's ever done.
Can you talk about the acoustic guitars you use and the gear that you're using?
I view the studio and the live situations as totally different. And so when we did this record, the acoustic record, This Machine Kills Artists, I did a Buck Owens American. I also used a old Gibson, I'm not sure what it was, acoustic guitar that he had, and a cheap dobro that he had, like a really cheap chunk of junk dobro.
No names or
No, I don't remember. It was just some, really.
You used a dobro on that record?
Yeah, some of it.
On what song?
I can't remember.
Wow.
So what we would do is we would go in. I got 2 songs to record. We'd go in, and then every single time we went to record 1 or 2 songs, we completely set up the miking techniques totally different, and figured out a new way to record acoustic guitar. Whatever it may be for those. So there's no continuity through that record at all. It's all recorded differently.
You do some overdubbing on it.
Oh, right? A lot, yeah.
And that you obviously can't do live if you're just you could use loopers.
No, I don't bother with that.
You just do them straight
through. Just go with it, just like that, just like I did here. It's just like I mean, I have to carry it as a performer,
right?
But in the studio, I think you should utilize whatever's in front of you.
I have to say, this album, I mean, you think of it as an acoustic album, but it's very psychedelic. I mean, there's a lot of really cool psychedelic effects that you're using on here.
On the vocals especially.
Yeah, on the vocals especially, yeah.
But the guitars are all mic'd acoustic. There's no DI used, nothing.
Wow.
Nothing like that. And it wasn't so much that we were against doing that, but we just were getting such cool sounds by just, micing it up, which was hard for me to do because I have a really hard time. I can't sit down and play. I have a really hard time standing in the right spot.
Right.
To get the mic right. So that was the hardest part.
So you didn't use any inside the guitar pickups or anything?
Nope, no pickups on the guitars. Wow. The Gibson didn't have one. My Buck Owens has something in there, but I didn't use it.
Talk about that Buck Owens. Where did you get that? How did you get that?
My wife had it.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, and it's actually one that was made by the guy who made Buck Owens' guitars. So it's not the production model.
Right.
So it's
an original.
Apparently.
Wow.
So it's really old. It's irreplaceable. A lot of fun to play. I played it for years. Wrote lots and lots of songs on it. It's a great song. So I married into it.
Okay. Nice? So other guitars besides the Buck Owens, what other models do you have? Acoustics, that is.
That's it.
And that.
Yeah, and this one I bought. It's a Blue Ridge. I bought it just to tour with. So it's not on the record.
Oh, okay.
I bought it new, and I went down. This friend of mine actually Field, the guy's opening. He works at McCabe's guitar shop in LA. So I just went down there and tried out a whole bunch of them. There's a few things I wanted on it, which was I wanted it to have a cutaway down here, so it was easier to play. I didn't want it too wide because I can't stand playing big guitars. I feel like I'm having to reach over them.
Right.
I don't really like it, and I wanted it, to have a relatively small body, and it has a pickup and a microphone and a tuner and a wide variety of those things because I knew I was going to run through a little combo amp.
And you needed the Mary Poppins.
I put that on. Mary Poppins. How can you not have Mary Poppins?
Years and years and years ago, Kurt and Nirvana did the Unplugged album, right? And it wasn't just Nirvana songs, although it was some Nirvana songs. They also did some covers of old blues songs and Meat Puppets covers.
David Bowie.
And Bowie. Did you think about doing covers on this record? Did that ever cross your mind?
No, not really. I mean, I do one live Alice Cooper song. That's really cool.
Which song?
Ballad of Dwight Fry.
Oh, great!
I love that
crazy song.
Yeah, he's one of my all-time favorites. I mean, I think he's really super underrated when it comes to that sort of thing.
I do not. I'm 18 still on acoustic guitar.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's a great acoustic song.
They're great songs.
Yeah.
People go, "Oh yeah, he's the guy that hung himself on stage," but no. Without the songs, he's nothing.
Rough Democracy, to me, that's the first song that I got to that, well, it's very early in the album, but it's the first song I got to that had this really heavy sort of Sabbathy, the sound that I hear in a lot of Melvins songs, but very Sabbathy sort of guitar sound. And Sabbath, of course, worked with acoustic guitars. Did you have that in mind, like the acoustic guitars that some heavier bands have used in their music? Did you have that in mind when you were writing these songs or recording these songs?
Well, usually when bands like Sabbath use an acoustic guitar, it's for like an intro or,
Right.
or something. I didn't want to do anything like that. I didn't want it to sound like, I was going to a Renaissance fair or something,
Right.
I just had no interest. It's not me.
Right.
I wanted that song in particular to be aggressive, and but it's heavy, but it doesn't sound like heavy metal to me. It sounds like, I don't know what it would sound like. It sounds like if I was playing Scratch Acid on acoustic, which is a band.
Yeah.
That's more like what I was thinking of.
All right.
And the lyrics are, I don't write anything that's too direct, but they're pretty. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a finger pointing in some way, but also very demanding. I guess it's the best way to put it. I don't know.
The old, the feeble, burning with the oil. The burning oil placed on the table. Food complicated, terribly important. You like money, you like everyone. Liberated, are you with us? A few bad angels, variety and focus. The hook, the dealer, what am I doing? No fear, no meanness, the rising rebel. Of equals appears to the world.
Great. That seemed good to me. You guys are cool?
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Excellent. I was happy with those. Great. Awesome. In and out. I like it.